The pro-democracy unity government in Myanmar, which includes members of Aung San Kyi's party, says it will not enter talks until the junta releases all political prisoners. Souteast Asia's regional bloc has been holding talks with the leaders of the military who seized power on February 1st. Since then, massive protests have been held in demonstration against that coup. Hundreds of civilians have been killed and many more arrested. This week, armed ethnic groups in the east of the country say they took control of a military base there. To take a closer look at the situation, we can speak now to campaigns officer at Burma Campaign UK and the daughter of a man currently serving a 65-year jail sentence in Myanmar for taking part in protests back in 2007. Miss Wai Hnin, thanks so much for your time. Can I start by asking you, just this news we're hearing, this refusal to enter talks, what do you think about that? Surely to get out of this current crisis, negotiations will have to happen.
Negotiation will have to happen, but we have to remember our history, that military is not someone that you engage with. You know, all the time reforms happened 10 years ago because military made sure that their power was safe, their financial independence, and they didn't make any compromises to move the country into quasi-democracy. We are in this mess now because we enter the 2008 constitution and we enter the political system that they design us to enter to. So, you know, we can see clearly where the military is, they care about human rights or they care about democracy by seeing how many people they keep killing and they keep arresting every day. We have more than 3,400 people behind bars, and this figure, you know, keep increasing every day because they keep arresting protesters, they keep arresting anyone that criticizes them. So military is not something that they care about democracy or human rights values at all.
Over 3,000 people, you say, in prison. Is that since the coup of February 1st? And can you tell me more about where those people are now and the conditions they're in?
So since 1st of February, there are more than 3,400 people. That's the figure that we know, but we don't know how many people have simply disappeared in ethnic areas or how many people have been killed behind bars. Most of these 3,400 people, we don't know where they're being detained, and most of them, they haven't been charged. And there are so many cases of torture and death behind bars. So, you know, family members are really worried about their loved ones.
We did see such defiant protests for many days, even weeks after that coup on February 1st. What's the situation there today? Has the military succeeded, if you like, in forcing people to stay out of sight?
No, I mean, military use violence because that's the only thing they know. They use violence, they kill people, they keep arresting people because they hope by doing that they will stop protesters from coming out to the street. But we are seeing protests across the country. Okay, people are more careful, people are more strategic now, but protest continues. People are still defiant because they are sure that they have to get rid of this military once and for all, because we don't want to go through another bloodshed uprising again in our future. So people are still courageous and people are still protesting despite all the violence.
And give us an idea of what you're hearing when it comes to the violence. You know, we've seen, those killings during protests. We're hearing about airstrikes in certain parts of the countries, and now hearing, from one of the armed ethnic groups near Thailand that they've overrun an army barracks there.
Yes, so the figure of people, peaceful protesters who are being killed are over 750, but this figure doesn't include people in ethnic area being killed by fighter jets, because fighter jets are bombing and killing civilians nearly every day in Kachin and Karen state. And we are having a huge humanitarian crisis as well, because there are more and more people being displaced and being forced out of their homes because of this fighter jet bombing. So in Thai-Burma border, there are huge numbers of internally displaced people. They have no shelter, they have no food or no medical treatment. And we have a rainy season coming. So that's another worry and humanitarian crisis we have on our hand, unfortunately.
And tell me, I believe many of these ethnic groups are armed, so they have some military might to fight back with. But what do you think needs to happen to turn this situation around?
Even with the combination of all the ethnic armed groups we have, we can't tackle the military because the military has much better weapons and technology, and they are much more powerful than the rest of the country, armed group combined. What we need is international action. And of course, when Min Aung Hlaing staged the coup, he thought he could get away with it because he was getting away with committing genocide against the Rohingya minority in 2017. So what we need is the international community to take action and hold these military accountable so they have this sense of impunity. They have that. So we need to remove that impunity and we need to hold them accountable and refer them to International Criminal Court.
Ms. Wai Hnin, thanks so much for your time and giving us an